Hello guys, good morning. My name is Sinta Budiyanti. My number is 0919013411. I'm from Department of English Education in 4th semester, exactly in morning class. In here, I'd like to presentation for my assignment. Let's start it. Read aloud. Okay, what is read aloud? Basically, for many students, ideas on the page come alive when they are spoken. Reading text aloud provides a way to help all students access the material and develop their skills as active listener. Listening to proficient readers provides a model for fluent reading and can help students, especially ELL students, recognize how to pronounce unfamiliar words. By inviting students to read, this strategy encourages class participation and takes the focus of the teachers as the only source of the information. Read aloud is an instructional practice where teachers, parents, and caregivers read text aloud to children. The reader incorporates variation in pitch, tone, pace, volume, pauses, eye contact, questions, and commands to produce a fluent and enjoyable delivery. Then the purpose. Read aloud text provides the opportunity for students to listen to and discuss text together, enabling them to build background knowledge and vocabulary. Enjoy a common experience, build community, shares ideas, and collaborate to construct the meaning. Knowing that student listening comprehension typically exceed their reading comprehension, we design whole class comprehension lesson using read aloud so that all students can participate in grade level comprehensions work, regardless of their reading level. Reading aloud based on the researcher. Reading aloud to children builds and supports their listening and speaking abilities and enhance their overall language development, according to Bertine in 1996, Sipe in 2000, Trachtenberg and Ferragia in 1980 agreed after they examined the impact of oral language development through the shared book experience with high-grade speaking readers. Both claims their students developed a rich language base and came to understand the power of words by listening to stories, reading stories, and responding to stories through a variety of engagement activities. How to try this method? This is the procedure of read aloud. The first, select text. Most texts are appropriate to read as a read loud. It can be challenging to hold some students' attention for text longer than 2 pages, but an extremely engaging story can hold student attention for a quite while. Use your knowledge of your students coupled with the appeal of the text to select a reading of appropriate length. Second, read aloud. The teacher or a volunteer can begin reading the text, reading a few lines or a whole paragraph. When doing a read aloud, it is best if all students have a copy of the text so that they can follow along, usually taking notes as they listen. There are many ways to structure a read aloud. A. Student can read in the order in which they are sitting, continuing around the room until the text is finished. B. Read alouds can be structured as a popcorn style. As soon as one student stops reading, another student can begin. C. Teacher can assign student as a section of the text to read. Then, pause for comment. Depending on the length of the reading, you may want to pause after each paragraph to check for understanding, clarify misconceptions, and ask students to make predictions. And the last is reread section. If there are particularly important parts of the material that you want to emphasize, you can have students reread these sections. Students often pick up of the different ideas and words when they hear a text read more than once. Or after they read aloud, you can ask students to read the text silently on their own. There are some advantages and disadvantages from read aloud. The advantages of read aloud. A. Repetition. Reading ahead of the time reduces the mental strain of pronunciations for the next time you have a conversation with someone in real life. B. Confidence. By practicing the pronunciations ahead of time, you'll have more confidence in your speaking and you'll be willing to take more risks. And the last, transition from passive to active. How many words do you recognize on the page but you've never used yourself? Probably thousands. By saying those words out loud, even if it is at home with nobody listen, you're helping to transition those words from your passive vocabulary to your active vocabulary. Disadvantage of read aloud. A. Confusing spelling. You don't need me to tell you that words in English are not necessarily pronounced like they are spelled. Therefore, you cannot tell just by looking at word how you should say it. B. Risk of saying it wrong. If you don't know how to pronounce the word, you can guess, but you might guess wrong. And if you guess wrong, then you take all the learning power of reading out loud and you turn it against of yourself. There is a real risk of teaching yourself the wrong pronunciations. C. Written and spoken in English are different. Written English is often meant to be read silently. You can read it out loud, but you won't sound like a speaker. You sound like someone reading a book. The risk is that you'll practice sounding like a textbook and not like a normal person. The last, not engage with content. The sound and the content go together. If you don't know what you're saying, it won't sound good. That's why it's impossible to pick up text and start reading if you want to sound natural. You have to know what you're saying before the words start coming out of your mouth. Okay, that's all. Thanks for your attention.